2.
Good evening, Rockland, and welcome to the school committee meeting of Monday, March 11th, 2019. First on tonight's agenda is the acceptance of the meeting minutes of February 25th, 2019.
Motion second approved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? There's a vote. Thank you. Seeing nothing under communications, item 3, under audience, we have the Rockland High School students' Quebec trip summary. Dr.
That
Cron.
was quick.
Yes. Here they come.
Ava and Mrs. Dorr.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Dorr. How are you?
I'm
Welcome.
well. Thanks for having us tonight. We just wanted to give you a brief recap about the trip, and Ava was so kind to speak on behalf of the 12 students that traveled. We had a wonderful trip. Thank you again for approving this first voyage to Quebec, and I think we'll be putting in for it again. I don't know if it'll be for next year or the year following, but I do have students asking. So thank you so very much. It was a grand success, and I'd rather you hear it from Ava.
A little over a month ago, several students in Rockland High's French curriculum spent about 3 days in Quebec, Canada. Throughout these 3 days, the students and staff members joining us had so many once-in-a-lifetime experiences. We went dog sledding through the snow, enjoyed winter carnival activities, shopped, and spent nights sledding and tobogganing. But intertwined with all this fun is a core focus of learning and immersion into the French language and culture. Through the entire trip, we were introduced to new and exciting information about French history and culture. Whether it be through educational activities like our visit to Musée du Fort or our wonderful tour guide, there was never a day we went without learning something new, or trying something new for that matter, like Quebec's food inspired by traditional French cuisine, or the days we spent snowshoeing and dancing to French folk music. But of course, our learning did not stop there. Our daily use of French was fantastic practice and introduced us to tons of new vocabulary. Through interacting with workers and citizens of Quebec, we had frequent opportunities to test our French knowledge. We also spent time discussing France's influence on life in Quebec. Many areas of Quebec, through architecture, language, customs, or food, have direct connections to the French, and was beautiful real-life application of our learning. As a student who attended the trip, I can speak for all of us when I say that it was an amazing trip, and we would be overjoyed to visit Quebec again. Thank you.
Outstanding. Great job, first of all.
Thank you.
But I know we
can't
have,
go
don't
yet.
go anywhere yet. Don't go anywhere yet. Get back there.
Not that easy.
I've been around long enough to know that some of my co-members of the committee here are going to have maybe a question or 12 for you. So,
Of course,
anyone? Go ahead, committee. Mrs. Maroney?
I saw some of Mom's pictures on Facebook, and it was freezing when you guys were up there. What were the temps?
I would say anywhere from 0 to probably about -20, -20 about.
Yeah. It was crazy cold, and they were all tough and still did what they needed to do.
Yes, we all prepared really well with packing our clothes and everything properly, so it went really well.
Good job. Good
Did you go
job.
to the hotel front, Mark?
Yes, we did.
The one with all the beautiful greens?
Yes.
The copper roofs. Did you go on the slide that's down below there? They have a huge slide.
Yes? Yeah, oh, yes. the
Yeah, was
tobogganing,
that
yes.
good?
Yes, it was
Yeah,
beautiful.
awesome. Good for you. And how do you pronounce the word that begins with a Q?
Quebec.
Quebec.
So as far as the language goes, and I mean, of course you were there for a language trip, did you find it interesting being able to just pick up on, eavesdropping on people's conversations?
Yes.
Did you find that your experience in learning the French language here at Rockland High School gave you some comfortability in being there and understanding language and reading the signs?
Absolutely. Like, we obviously just started, the freshmen especially started with French learning not that long ago, but you learned so much just through hearing people, and our tour guide spoke almost entirely French to us, so you definitely picked up on a lot of French lingo and just normal terminology that we necessarily, we might not have had learned in class, but you applied during the trip.
Yeah. Did you, I noticed when I went up there one day, I went into a bakery and I asked for something in English. Pardon, monsieur? Huh? Parlez-vous français? and I had to ask for that. They want you to speak
Yes.
French up there. That's the nice part about going there. And they're a little bit, but they're kind about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the Canadians, Montreal Canadians,
Oh, yeah.
only want a head coach that speaks French.
Yeah.
They do not want a coach that cannot speak French.
Because most of the players speak
That's why. You can't talk
I don't know,
about it.
that Canadians team right now is a lot of...
And I
not-
think that the Quebecois are pretty happy that they have a French-speaking prime minister, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Now, if only they could get the hockey franchise back.
Did you have a particular favorite new word that you learned while you're there? Was there a fun new word, or was there an experience that you had that kind of made you laugh about
Oh, geez.
That you can say on camera?
Yeah, of course. Just me and my friends like trying our best to use French and stuff, and it's obviously a little awkward because we're already like shy speaking to new people and stuff. So I remember when we were like going on our sledding and tobogganing whole things, people were trying to talk to the staff, and my friends were trying to like make jokes with them, and it was just really funny because the language issue, but they were trying to like be polite and speak English. We were trying to be polite and speak French, so it was definitely like it was funny because we both had that understanding of like I don't really know your language, but I'm trying to be friendly here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You get into the old city?
What?
You get into the old city?
Yes,
Yeah,
we did
yeah,
underground and
yeah,
stuff.
The fort, yeah, that's nice up there.
How was the food?
Oh, good.
I'm a very picky eater, so it was definitely probably the biggest challenge on the trip for me, but there was some unique stuff that I tried, fried pig ear and different types of stews and fondues and stuff that was really unique. But
Poutine.
my friends and I all, by the end of the trip, we were trying something new every day, and it was really great.
Awesome way to
I
do
was
it.
very proud of them, particularly for that. Some of them even ordered escargot for lunch.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
How did you feel that you were received as American students abroad by the French community and French people?
They were definitely super polite. I know that I remember walking into a breakfast place that we were eating at, and they had been playing they'd obviously tried to play like American music and put on American news. They were definitely very welcoming, and speaking with staff, if you weren't like perfect with your French, they were completely understanding and tried their best to communicate in English. So they're definitely, as the stereotypes say, they're definitely very polite people.
Great.
Did you have a croissant for breakfast?
Yes, I did. Chocolate filled.
And did anybody
chocolate
wear
filled.
Bruins
Good girl.
stuff?
What?
Did anybody wear Bruins gear?
No, we had some kids who had bought, there was a sports store, and some kids had bought hats from different teams and stuff. And a lot of, I remember, the Super Bowl and stuff was going on, so one of our waiters had said that he hated the Patriots, and he wanted to let us know, but everyone was safe, not wearing
that's-
anything.
You could go to New York
Yeah.
and find out.
Everybody hates Patriots.
They hate the
Now,
Patriots
my last
inside.
question for you is, France and Paris in particular has been a lot in the news internationally recently with the yellow vest protests and some economic difficulties going on. But did you guys witness any of that going on while you were there?
I didn't see a lot of it. Our tour guide did discuss a lot of the history of kind of the political issues and the Quebec's want for independence from the rest of Canada, but we didn't see a lot of protesting or anything like that.
Yeah.
Interesting, great.
St. Lawrence
Well, thank
River.
you for all that you've done, and I'm glad that it sounds as if it's a great trip, and
It was.
it sounds as though we've had a lot of, great representation and great kids that are there. So congratulations, and thank you for
Thank you.
representing Rockland High School as
course.
well as you did.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
Yeah, well done.
I don't get the shy thing. They
Thank
said they were
you.
shy. I didn't get that.
No.
Great.
Great
Excellent.
job.
Well, next up, our favorite part of any agenda is our superintendent's report.
Absolutely.
Dr. Cron.
All right. I received some wonderful news last week. I received an invitation in the mail from the Department of Education. On Friday, June 7th at 10 a.m., the Department of Ed will honor the Jefferson School as one of 57 schools recognized statewide. They will also be recognizing Blue Ribbon schools and ESEA distinguished schools at the State House. So I'm looking forward to that on June 7th, going into the State House with Principal Shifley and being recognized by DESE. So that's a wonderful piece of news that came in this week. Had a nice evening out last week with Mr. Phelps, Mr. Garofalo, and Ms. Maroney. We attended a dinner sponsored by the Massachusetts Association of School Councils, or MASC, and they were talking a lot about the foundation budget and all the legislation that's going on at the State House. And I think, as I was saying to Ms. Maroney on the way out of the event, a lot of times I leave things like that and I feel like I learned this much, and then I feel like I'm confused, and then I learned this much and I feel a little confused. But I think overall, we left definitely with some information, but also a sense that we weren't alone in our concerns about how the state is funding schools. And I was personally very impressed with the representatives from MASC and how comfortable they were speaking on some very complex topics. One man described the formula that's used to create Chapter 70 numbers. He said the formula is known to God and 3 other people that we don't know. So that's about how confusing some of these funding formulas can be, but I really enjoyed that and appreciate the interest and appreciated the event. Finally, last week, Ms. Forlizzi, Ms. Hackett, and I met with the Finance Committee's liaison to the school department, Mark Pulsifer, and we met for about an hour and discussed our budget proposal and our town articles. It was a very positive meeting, and I look forward to presenting our budget to the full Finance Committee on March 20th at 7:00 p.m. And then finally, I just want to remind everyone that even though kindergarten registration officially is no longer going on during the day, you can still register kindergarten students, and I encourage you to contact Patty Penny. You can do that through email, which is ppatricia@rocklandschools.org, or you can call 781-871-0541 for information on kindergarten. Our current numbers, currently we're at 166 registrations, and that's going up by the day. And I will say that that's a very positive place for us to be at this point in the registration process, and again, bodes well. Enrollment is the lifeblood of our school department. And so seeing those numbers, if we could get ourselves to have 190 kindergartners this year, it would bode well for the future. So it's very, very encouraged by that, by the kindergarten registration numbers.
Great.
So, yes.
One thing which is good news too, I read the Globe this morning, that's not great news, but
good
they
read.
talked about the tax situation in Massachusetts and how the first 2 months weren't that good as far as revenue coming into the state, but this past month was wonderful. So it seems maybe the worm has turned, and that will all help in the budget
That'll help.
situation.
Yeah, right, good. And I hope the same happens for town receipts.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. We hope that we follow that as well. And that's all I have for superintendent's report.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Cron.
You're welcome.
Next on tonight's agenda, we have our monthly reports for February.
Colorful.
And we'll be entertaining 4 motions for administrators, guidance, nurse, and pupil personnel services.
4 motions.
One more.
Quick, well done.
Wait a minute.
Quick for
4 seconds with a
McGraw.
caveat.
Well done.
I have a caveat.
All those in favor? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
One thing I want to make known as I read the reports from the schools. People might wonder why we are so pushing for a new school, and I sit here and I read the maintenance completed at these elementary schools. And as an example, change files on unit vents in the heat control, repair light covers, repair ceiling and roof leaks in the main office, install new thermostats for the boil system, set up traps in the room, repair a phone line, reinforce the railings outside the doors, repair a drain pipe, replace a generator battery, work on wall heaters, control module for boiler, nurse's bathroom fan to be replaced, new outlets needed, new lock on playground, regrade outside of the room to remedy water problems.
And that's just down.
I'm not
outside
done.
Alan's office.
I'm not done. Installing insulation in the south metal wing. Heat troll replaced. Fillers on roof unit in south metal wing fixed. Steam leak in the basement. IBS finished replacing the steam traps. Maintenance fixed and marked wall heaters in west wing. A metal wing. Heat fixed values in rooms. Heat in and checked out univents. Maintenance and closed pipes in the bathroom of the nurse's office. I'm willing to bet that if we saw the total of all of that maintenance, we'd probably fall over right now. So if you want to see the schools and why we need a new one, we'll take you through them and you can see it. That's all I have to say about that for the reports, because that stood out to me. I could not believe the amount of stuff that those schools needed. Sorry to jump on the
No, an excellent point.
and the motion and second race that we were having.
These are the monthly reports that we get, and we read them, and people are not privy to them. And I think that's a very good point, and one that's important to point out as we work towards hopefully fulfilling our need for a new school.
American vote.
Next up, we have our school newsletters for March, which are, as always, very beautiful, well done, and filled with lots of smiling
And I've just
faces.
get my green eggs and ham book out.
Yeah, Read Across America Day
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just recently, and I know some committee members here were reading to classes, and awesome stuff going on in Rockland Public Schools, and we always appreciate seeing them in our reports, or our newsletters, excuse me. Next up, for your information, we have our building rentals for February, a busy month. Lots of basketball being played here at the gyms of Rockland Schools, and we like to see that in our community using our buildings as always. Under old business, item 6, Item A, we have completed fundraisers. We have a couple of completed fundraisers. The Memorial Park PAC had a fun run that had outstanding results, bringing in $5,534.92. And the preschool PAC had a raffle calendar that also performed very well, raising $2,145. Congratulations to both the Memorial Park PAC and the preschool PAC on all their hard work and the results of it.
That fun run was awesome. I volunteered for the day there.
Did you run?
God, no. But my kids were
I'm on the
kids were
PAC for
1 and 2
5
in
years, and
fundraising
you
for
show
the
up
school.
when I'm not.
Outstanding. Good job.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good job.
So how much did you spend?
I actually, I did one donation from work for
Oh,
each
good,
kid.
good.
And
job.
everything else came in from family, friends.
Oh, that's great.
Co-workers, stuff like that.
Good job, Garofalo girls.
awesome.
Hey, you know,
Great job.
they're
That's
cute.
awesome.
Why
Spread
not
the wealth.
donate to them?
All right, next up, under new business, we have the request for approval of the 2019-2020 Ease, Leap, and Steps Handbook, and this is the first reading. Dr. Cron?
Yes. So there are so few changes, we didn't even ask for anyone from the preschool to be here tonight. But these are just, there are 3 small additions and 1 small deletion. There'll be no afternoon ease, leap, or steps on early release days. If there's a 2-hour delay, we want to add this. If there's a 2-hour delay, there'll be no AM preschool. If there's an early dismissal due to snow, PM session is canceled. And the 3rd edition, classrooms will celebrate birthdays once a month. Due to allergies, teachers will provide a special birthday treat. And then finally, they want to delete number 3, room parent, because they are no longer using room parents. So very minimal changes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Do you want to
Do we want to waive this first reading?
Yeah, probably.
Does time restraints provide that that's necessary?
I don't believe so, no, there are no time restraints, so.
But I'll waive, I'll make a motion to waive first.
Okay, it looks like the changes are fairly minimal, so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
All right.
That is a vote.
I'm
Thank
a lefty
you.
voter
Do we
tonight.
make the parents aware of changes? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially when there's so few, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea, just so they know that instead of reading last year's handbook, that there have been changes, and
Changes, yep,
it wouldn't be hard to just
add a
duplicate
cover
this-
sheet,
That's
I was
it.
going to say,
yeah,
instead of reprint
yeah.
sheet,
yep.
right?
Let's
Change
go back to
added
that
in.
vote. Did you record it as a motion to approve, and then we took, and then we
So motion
passed
to-
that,
A wave and then a
Motion
and
to
motion.
waive
and then a waive? Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thanks, Donna.
Okay, yes, Mr. Phelps, I'll take care of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next up,
Hold on.
we have the summary for spring 2019 Rockland Community Education classes, and it's got some great stuff here, and they do a great job every year. There's really some great offerings, and you see some different stuff showing up. So bear with me while I take a deep breath and go ahead and tell you what everything's being offered.
Okay.
Classes for this spring, sewing for spring and summer, Reiki Level 1, the dance workout, monk's cloth Afghans, introduction to the Tarot 5 reading with Patty Sheets, quilting, golfer program, eccentrics, gentle yoga, developing your intuitive self, hands-only CPR, heart saver with AED and first aid, Zumba, pound, numerology, know your lucky numbers, selling your home in this market, and a first-time home buyer guide. And there will be a trip to the Granite State Chocolate and Wine Tour in May.
Are you going?
Very good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Sounds like some great stuff. So we would ask that anybody who's interested reach out and ask about these, but we'll look for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And we have a second. All those in favor? That is a vote. Thank you very much. Next, we have a...
Jane keeps raising her hand whenever you say vote, because she's so used to
I
it.
thought she was just waving.
I thought she was being
Jane?
friendly.
Approving it, too.
I keep doing
Keep
lefty
saying hi to
because I'm a
her.
lefty
Jane?
and I have a thing.
Hey, Jane.
You need
All
to-
right.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have a request of approval for some fundraisers. The Memorial Park is looking for approval for 2 fundraisers for their PAC. The bake sale in March and the Yankee candle sale in March. And we'll look for 2 motions for Memorial Park.
2 motions?
2 seconds.
All those in favor? That's a vote. And the Rockland High School is looking to approve for the Music Boosters a meat raffle that will be held in April. And we'll be looking to a motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve.
Second.
All those in favor? That's a vote. Thank you very much. Next up,
Oh, this,
we have
I
a
always like these.
great agenda item. A request for approval for the Rockland Cares Scholarship. Dr. Cron, do you have a recommendation or anything you'd like to add?
I just think it's wonderful. It's a great organization that touches the hearts and minds of many in this town, and I think it's very generous of them to offer this scholarship. I highly recommend we accept it.
Motion approved.
We have a motion to approve and a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Good job. Thank you.
That's a vote. Thank you, Rockland Cares, for the scholarship, but all they do every day. We're very, very lucky to have an organization like them with the people in it, and thank you to everyone who's
It should
involved.
be mentioned it's $500, which is a
Yes.
nice
Yeah.
sum.
$500.
Absolutely. That being said, last on tonight's agenda, but never least, is our public service announcements. And as always, we start with ladies first. Mrs. Maroney.
Thank you, Mr. Biggins. I had the pleasure on Friday, March 1st, to read for Read Across America Day to Jefferson's Miss Roy's, I should say, third grade class. And we read Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. It was about a little girl that was new to the classroom, new to the school, and they were not very friendly with her. And she ended up leaving, and then they had afterthoughts of, wow, they missed being kind, and that they wished they had taken better steps to be a better friend. While I was there, we discussed a little bit about me and my family, and that I'm on the Rockland School Committee and what that meant and what my duty as an elected official was. And we discussed the cameras and sitting with all of you. So I told them I would send them YouTube, and that I'm looking at one camera and there's two more over there. They were fascinated that we get to be on TV. And then I told them I would read them their names, and I'm hoping that I'm going to pronounce their names correctly. So we'll start with Liam Callahan, Claire Carpini, Daniel Crowley, Victoria Henderson, Leonelli Hoyos, Erin Mahoney, Evelyn McClure, Davin McHugh, Colin McManus, Ariana Medina, Sophia Morse, Riley O'Connell, Finn O'Connor, Adeline Olenek, Johanna Simpson, Braden Soul, Joseph Taylor, Robert Visconti, and Morgana Brown. And thank you all for having me. I had a blast listening to you all and getting to know you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mrs. Maroney. Mr. Mills.
Well, my suggestion would be to bring them along so they could be on TV one day. Come here. You
I know
have
they were
a-
fascinated that we were here and
Yeah.
that this was just right here in the high school.
I know.
So
We'll bring them along.
I can reach out and have them come up.
Yeah, it
Say
is.
hello.
Yeah, come up, say hello and everything else.
Sure.
One of the things I'd like to thank is the town, particularly the highway department, fair amount of snow last week. And thank you for calling school early. And they did a super job.
As always.
Yeah, as always, yeah. But the thing is that sometimes you look and said it's going to be only 4 inches, and they, kind of gear down, and, but but there was a couple more,
Right.
stuff like that. So that was good. And the school year is just marching along. It's almost there. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Mills. Mr. Phelps.
I don't have anything other than thanks to the taxpayers of the town of Rockland.
Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Garofalo.
Oh, I have some stuff.
I guess so.
What? I brought props. I brought notes. I am rolling today.
Sit back, people.
Number one, I'm super pumped because for the first time, I will be donning this beauty right here for the Shamrock Classic on March 21st because it is not on my daughter's birthday, and I look forward to playing. I'm sad that it took until it was your last time for us to be playing in it. But I encourage anyone to buy tickets because I understand they sell out quick. In fact, I already have 4. So
Thank you.
got to get the babysitter and the kids in the door. And I think it's going to be great and fun. Now, we have to congratulate the cheerleaders who, under Coach Reardon, have won their 9th state championship and are heading to New England's next weekend. I don't even know how to quantify that as how great that is. It's unheard of, and it's amazing, and there's something special going on here that people need to know about. And then also to John Ella III, who was named an academic All-American for swimming by the NISCA, and I completely forgot to write down what that abbreviation meant. But that's amazing, and hats off to John. Now, for the big deal. This weekend, there was the 48th annual ISI figure skating competition in Natick, and Winterland Skating School right here in Rockland brought 45 girls. 11 of them are Rockland School students. Winterland won the competition. They had 3 synchro teams that skated and took first, along with one of the synchro coaches is a senior in high school, and another one is a Rockland graduate. So I'd like to congratulate Riley Atkinson, Riley Boylan, Madison Dever, Charlotte Garofalo, Isabel Garofalo, Callie Herzog, Megan Joyce, Sophia Morse, that's the second time Sophia's been mentioned, and her sister's not even
And
here.
your sister's not here.
Gabby Roach, Madison Roach, and Summer Woodward on an amazing competition. There was multiple podium and first place medals awarded to girls from Rockland, and it was great to see, and I just want to congratulate them all. And that's all I have.
Thank you for Mr. Garofalo. Stole my thunder on a couple of things, so I'll just rehash a little bit.
Total fun to steal.
Yeah. First of all, the big one at the top of my list was, of course, the cheerleaders. 9 state championships is really just, unheard of in any sport. Yeah, and I did say sport. And the other piece I wanted to say is I would like to ask Dr. Cron if we could invite the cheerleading team here to our next committee meeting so that we might have the opportunity to personally congratulate them and wish them luck next year on getting their 10th.
Great.
Then also, I would like to also remind everybody that this is your last opportunity to see me embarrass myself on a basketball floor. And the Shamrock Classic is coming up, and I always say that it is, in my opinion, maybe one of the quintessential Rockland Public School events every single year. It's just so much fun, and it really shows what kind of community we have here in our schools. So get out there, cheer loud, and root for me not to tear my knee open. And then last but not least, one thing that sort of snuck away from me that I meant to mention after your superintendent's report was just a reminder about the kindergarten registrations. Not only a reminder about the registration, but a reminder to our community about just what an asset our full-day kindergarten program is, and how unique it is from our surrounding towns. We're very, very blessed and lucky in Rockland to be able to have full-day kindergarten, to be able to have our kids be put in front of certified teachers even before being in first grade for a full day. But it also just does so much for working parents in our town that might have the opportunity to go out and have a second job or do things that they need to do during the day. So for anybody out there who has kindergarten-aged kids, registration, you still are able to register. As Dr. Cron said, please reach out to Patty Penny. And to all those of you who have already registered, I do want to also offer my apologies, as those of you entering kindergarten or children entering kindergarten next year will be entering with the youngest and most energetic of the Biggins children, Shay Biggins. So apologies in advance. But other than that, that's all I got. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, you finish, and I just forgot something.
No, go ahead, I'm done. Please go ahead.
Okay. Also this weekend, Sunday, St. Patrick's Day, there is the South Shore Skating Club is hosting the Katie Hayden Open at the Rockland Rink. There will be multiple Rockland figure skaters that will be skating. Come on down, check it out. You'll actually have fun. It's not boring and cold, I promise, because I'm there probably 20 hours a week. So it's not boring. It is fun, and support our girls.
Thanks very much. Last but not least, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Thanks very much. Have a great night, everybody.